Testing, testing. Oh, it finally looks like the volume is on. I don't know what was going on. Sorry about that. I tried to log on a few times and the sound wasn't working. So it's probably going to tie into the reading somehow, because there's no coincidences. Hey, I know. Did you see all that ordeal? But that means something. Sheila, that means something, and that's like probably what our like, oh, it's like it feels like the relationship, you know what I mean? It's got that energy. Hey, Siska, right? That's the energy. It's like, what the hell is that? It's like, yeah, it's like me and the person's not listening to you. like, like, it's not working. It's not working. But I was like, what the hell? I said I went on. I had to shut everything down. That's why I'm gonna have to go back into the description box, because at that time I was like, I'm so tired of rewriting everything. I'm just gonna put it up so I can jump back on as fast as I can. Ah, but that's the energy. I know, but it's not that, but it's the energy. It's like that. Again, you're going to see this within the reading. And the energy is that it's like something so simple, something so simple. Why is there a problem? And that when you're dealing with a person that has a lot of spiritual blocks, it's so difficult. There's always a sense that like, oh, it like you don't want to eventually ask for anything. You don't want to actually do anything because you don't want to get disappointed. It's not even like it's the rejection. It's the difficulty. And it was almost like the no voice, right? There was no sound, there's no sound, there's no sound. And so that you're connected to someone that's not listening. Yeah, I do have like loyal people that come back, and I'm grateful for you guys. But that's what it is. It's like when you're on your spiritual path, what it is that you are really like giving and receiving of love through the way that you through your own unique individuality, your unique being. And when you're doing that, you're giving a lot less to your relationships. And so loyalty is earned. And it's through the fact of proving yourself. Trust is something that happens over time. I feel like within relationships, people make things move too fast. Yeah, well, I think that's it. We could see, but not hear. But it's like we see what we want to see, is what spirit says. It's like we don't actually see 100% what's there. It's like usually the things that we admire about someone that we possibly wish that we obtained ourselves or could have ourselves. We look at a person as if they're going to bring us something emotionally, financially, or some other thing. And so what happens is it's like usually the irony is what you go after the person for, you don't get. It's like it's the irony that you're not looking at all the other things. So again, we become blind to the things that we don't want to see. It's the way that our mind works, because we're not coming from a place of balance. We only come from a place of balance when we are in our true self. Our true self is our higher self. The higher self is the God part of self that sees everything through the filter of unconditional love. Which is like, how can you do that when you're dealing with this person or this is going on in the world? It's not logical. And Spirit says, no, it's not. Because it's, again, the world will condition you. People will condition you. And you'll form habits and behaviorisms that block you from actually manifesting through what you're perceiving. So the world's not perfect, but it's not about what the world tells you. It says in the Bible, don't let the world tell you who you are. So, and it's because the world will tell you that you're not good enough, you don't have enough, you are not enough. But Spirit says that's not true. You, inside of you, is love, is unconditional love, is the universe. That's what the God is. God's the universe. So you have the universe inside of you. That's supernatural energy. So by not letting the world tell you who you are, problem is we get into these karmic relationships and they change us. That's why we want to learn how to do shadow healing. This is why we have to learn how to clear the effects of trauma. We have to learn how to do that. We've come to a place within our evolution that we need to learn how to take care of our spiritual health. This ignorance of not knowing how, and then it's like you might as well just be bringing all your suitcases, that you've accumulated over a lifetime into your next relationship. But there's behaviorisms and there's habits, and some of them are toxic, and they will fuck a person up, from being with a person that looks normal on the outside, but they're not normal, and you don't recognize because you're not clear, because you're imbalanced. So again, it's these readings, for those of you that are new, by the way, hi. But it's about knowing we do look at everything, but what's most important is we look to see how we could break those karmic cycles that keep us stuck in a place of limitation, that keep us stuck in a place of ignorance and fear, because fear is not our energy. Fear is, like, again, taught. Fear is not even real. It's a perceived thing. It's false information perceiving to be real. It's not real. It's that we act as if it's real. And so we become a society that become conditioned, and then we get into relationships and we want to know why the relationships don't work out. So again, healing is not just about the awareness of what the person did, but it's about how you contributed. Why did you attract that person into your life? And what are you supposed to do with energy? Because you can't just get rid of it. You're the alchemist of your life. You have to transmute it. What are you going to do with that energy? So we look at all those elements. So the readings have a therapy style to them. And again, but we always do look and see, what is this person going to do? Even if they're like, they could be like a monster, like Quasimodo, that's a monster. And we're like, well, what are they going to do? Like, just because there's a part of us that wants to know. Doesn't matter. It's, again, that they could be a bad person, that they could be an off person, that it could be, that's the unconditional love that past life karmics have. It's the truth. Okay, so the word of the video is needy, needy, needy. Well, I feel like you're dealing with a person that is very immature. And they're very immature because they don't really know who they are. And part of their immaturity is that fact that they are needy, but needy is codependency. So this person normally gets into relationships and then because they need help, pretty much. Otherwise, they like to be a free bird. They like to go from person to person to person to person. Then they get in the relationship, and then the relationship is boring. And then, because again, this person, a relationship will never fulfill 100%. One person can't fulfill. That's spiritual law. That's God's law. God says it's like you weren't born for someone. You were born to be an expression of unconditional love by doing what you love, by giving and receiving of love through your free will. It's like not to give of a receive of love just to this person, because they're not going to appreciate it. Over time, they're going to think that you're not worthy. And then you're going to perceive that you're not worthy, because you're saying, I'm giving all of this time, energy, focus. I love this person. I show up for this person. We have this good connection. They do this, they do that. It's like, so what's usually happening is a person is going into a relationship and they're kind of recreating whatever they grew up with, which is I felt like it wasn't enough. I felt like I didn't have enough. I feel like I wasn't loved enough. And so needy people doesn't necessarily mean that you're needy, but it could mean that you're detached, like the exact opposite. See, there's only two energies, love and fear. So you can be like, I'm not a liar. I'm not a cheater. I'm not a controlling person. I just look at love. I just look at, and I get these people. And it's because of that trauma. It's the imprint, it's the samskara. And the samskara is a combination of astral energy and an emotional energy held in the body of stress, as stress. It's what becomes our energy vibration. So you're giving that energy out and you don't even realize it. And you're recreating it because part of your survival mechanisms, when it came to some of the closest people to you, and at the young age is, from 0 until like 7 or something like that, you're pretty much conditioned to know who you are at the roots, meaning whatever traumas that you went through, whatever you experienced. This is how we inherit family karma. It wasn't necessarily you, but as a child, you're absorbing the environment. So if there was money issues, if there were financial issues, and usually there are, because our parents, they don't start off rich. They can become rich. But a lot of them, had to pinch pennies, and a lot of them had to be frugal, and a lot of them fought over money, and a lot of them, dealt with life stresses, with addictions, and a lot of them, which is out of balance. We do the best that we can with what we have and with the knowledge that we have, and that was the best that they had. So again, you get conditioned from the environment that you grew up in. So life is hard, life is hard, life is hard. That's what you're seeing. It's like, even though your parents made sure that you went away on vacation, even though, you were taught on some level that this is something really valuable, this money is really invaluable. And it's something that only like the rich and famous and popular people have a lot of it, where spirit says no. It's like everyone can have it. It's just an energy. It's like people like worship it. It's the energy that you have connected to it. So if you're coming from a place of lack, and that's what you were taught because there wasn't enough, or they just seemed like there wasn't enough. And remember, words are like spells, because if you say there's not enough, there's not enough, there's not enough, it's like, and you're fighting over the same thing, and you're angry over the same thing. It's the emotional energy that makes you manifest. So you're then trying to overcompensate to deal with your emotions. And so a lot of our parents smoked a lot, they drank a lot, they did things that took them away from themselves, the true self, the higher self. The higher self is a God part of self. And that part of ourself allows us to not be needy, but we have to become the expression of love. So yeah, being connected to someone that's needy for that. Now I explain to you, because like goes to like. So you're like, I'm not needy, but spirit's like, yeah, well, going off to whatever you spend time in, was it really emotionally fulfilling? Did it fill you with passion? Was Mary Jane on the Stepmaster at the gym exciting for you when you went there? No. It's like, it's what's passion. It's love is where we lose ourselves. Otherwise, we give too much to relationships. And most people, again, do that. And that's why Spirit had me channel that again, because it's needy. But most people are needy and they don't realize it, that they're empty. And they're empty because they're like, well, I get bored. When is there due? I go to work. Yeah, I like my job, but it's like I come home and it's like it was after a while. No, that's why we give so much to that person. That makes us feel so good. And Spirit says that's not going to last. And it lasts, but it doesn't last, because once you get to know the person and once things change, and it doesn't mean that there still won't be love. But Spirit says you get that love from inside of you. Most people are depleted, and they're depleted of that passion, so they don't know how to do it. And so as long as you don't know how to do it, you cannot train anyone to respect you because you're always available. You're always available. I just want to be there as a good friend and this and that. And Spirit says, would you do that for like Bob, your next door neighbor? No, I don't fucking Bob. Like, try to avoid Bob. And Spirit says, exactly. If you were having a really good day and we're really busy and with a lot of things, would this person look as appealing? No. It's like they look really appealing because what's on the menu? Oh, just broccoli. Oh, that is, it gets bland after a while. It's like we need the different flavors. Different flavors in our life are the different types of passion in our life. Passion. That's the energy of the universe. That's when your third eye opens and the crown chakra, your clairsentient, your claircognizance comes in. It's not a logical thing. It's a knowing. And you were dealing with someone that, again, they're never going to come in needy, but they're going to come in as self-righteous. They're going to come in as like a know-it-all. They're going to come in as like, oh, you're not going to tell me anything. Again, like an arrogance. But a person, again, overcompensates. And they overcompensate when they, again, feel little. And what we know is, again, this person is lost. And they're lost. They don't really have an identity. They don't feel like they have an identity. So, again, they could be someone that has a job, but they're not really fulfilled in a job. So they go out with a relationship. And it's one bad relationship after another bad relationship after another bad relationship. So it's like they don't really have the energy because over time, if you don't heal the effects of that, it's like what happens is you become like hypersexual. You become like hyper focused and fixated on like one element of the relationship. And so again, the relationship goes too fast and you're feeling like, oh, this is a connection because it's just because the person's needy. First of all, they can hide that. And what you're feeling is a connection. And that's the past life karmic mate that feels like a twin flame, that feels like this is your person, when meanwhile, it's like they're not evolved. They're the person that they could be because of their past life karmic mate, which means that God is saying to them, all right, come on into this lifetime. Let's see whether you get it right this fucking lifetime. Let's see whether you do it right this time. Let's see whether you're going to be smart enough this time. Let's see whether you get it right. Because you didn't get it right for the past 15 lifetimes. We're getting a little tired here. So the karmic consequences, well, you number 700 generations, it says in the Bible, and you're lucky. You're lucky 700. Okay, so you're up, and the karmic consequences are not going to be good. They're not going to be good. So I hope that you learned. I hope you learned in this lifetime, and that you're not going to get caught up with the feelings and the emotions of what you want this person to be, that everything that you don't have, because that's a counterfeit passion, just so that you know. That's because God says, me first, I'm a jealous God, that's through you first. So that's counterfeit. I just want you to know that you're going to be coming from a place of imbalance. And there will always be a fear of abandonment because of that. And you'll know because, again, the person's deceiving, and you'll feel that through, again, that we all have discernment. So you will feel it, but then you'll feel like, am I just being paranoid? Maybe I'm just being paranoid. It's like, I don't know, because I went to work and I came home and, I can feel like this, but maybe not. I feel like I'm being a little bit paranoid. And Spirit says, well, you know what? If you didn't just come home after work, and you did other things that you were really passionate about, well, you would have better discernment because you wouldn't be so close up to the picture, and you wouldn't care about calling that person out. You wouldn't care about setting boundaries right then and there. So there's a sense of also, I only stay because if you're getting someone that's deceiving, you manifested this. You manifested this. Why? How didn't you have discernment? It's like I might have had discernment, but I question myself because I feel like that I was crazy. I feel like that person will make me feel crazy. When really it's like you're not like crazy. It's the boundaries where you're connected to someone that always needs attention. They like attention. They like the spotlight. Again, because they are needy. People that are feeling needy, I have to get outside energy. Why? Because they have spiritual blocks inside of you. It makes it difficult for that prana, chi, not just prana and chi, but it's the energy of the universe. It's God. It's Holy Spirit. That's the Holy Spirit that works through you, through prana. Can't work through you. Your life force. So again, when you see people that have no energy and they're just lazy, you're like, why are you so lazy? It's like because you don't. It's the person's. I'm overthinking, and I'm suppressing my emotions through some sort of addiction, usually. And it's a person that needs to be like, I need attention. I need attention. Now, also just people that feeling a lack, but any needy person. I mean, I'm telling you the extreme with the addiction, but that will happen over time if you don't heal it. Because, like I said, you obtain more and more baggage within the relationship because you have to integrate the spiritual lesson. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. When you do so, you expand consciousness. What is God? God is all knowing. You too can have that through claircognizance and through, again, learning, through integrating spiritual lessons of learning. And that's really this person is like, no, I want to hog the spotlight. I need to get attention. Look at me. That's counterfeit. And then also then having expectations of what it's going to look like, but having expectations of you, what you need to do for me. And of course, if you're with this person and feel like they're a soulmate, you'll be like, well, I have expectations that, we'll go out to dinner and then maybe we'll go for a movie. And, the person, you'll be lucky if you get a tic tac. You'll be lucky if you get a tic tac from a person like this. Again, they have no energy. Their heart is closed. This is how you recognize it. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be in a relationship. Of course they want to be in a relationship. They want to do anything that's going to make them feel better. But then I'm going to expect you to do more because I don't know how to do it. So, you got to entertain me. You got to do something for me. And that's not a relationship. That person's going to be needy. They're going to be dominant. They're going to have control issues. Plant your own fucking garden and then water it. It's like, I don't need you over here trying to garden my garden. I don't need that. It's like, I don't want my tomatoes there. You don't know where I want my strawberries. You don't know. It's like, this is mine, my direction. You're too much in my lane. It's like, and that's a fear. That's dutiful. But understand, because you don't have an identity. So the person's going to come in and you're going to be like, well, they you see, what they did was they love bombed me. They came in and they did everything for me. And they tricked me. Well, no, that was actually that person. But see, over time, then the person expects too much in return. They don't get it. They get resentful because God says, again, you can't get that from fixing somebody else. You'll never get back equal. The person's giving too much, 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 but again, has expectations. Well, I'm doing because I'm expecting. So I understand it's coming from a fear-based consciousness. It looks like I'm a good person too. I like the attention put on me. So I'm helping this person, but understand there's underlying energy, and that's what you feel. It's like, but that person that cares about what they feel. almost like, well, I'd rather look like the savior instead of, someone that's a bad person. But really, it's escapism, and it's only for a limited time, and it's for, again, for that their purpose. Like, they will become who you want them to become, in hopes that in losing themselves in you, that your energy somehow rubs off miraculously onto them, and they become you and have your life, which doesn't make any sense. But it's almost like, if I'm with you, then people will see me better. If I'm with you, my life will be better somehow. It doesn't mean that that's true. What that means is it's that person's perception. Always still like to look at the hidden truth. Like, okay, so even though they have all that spiritual stuff, just so that you know why they're needy, is a person hasn't found themselves. And we explained all that in the beginning. So we'll go and we'll understand, okay, so what does this person feel like on the conscious level? Because they don't know any of this. Remember, healing subconsciously. They don't know why they do what they do. You came closer than anyone. So almost like this person is giving up. And they would, unless you came in to fix it. So I feel like, for whatever reason, this person is not in a good place. I feel like I feel like they're having money problems. And I don't know whether they just got out of a divorce. I don't know whether they lost their job, but came upon some hard place where their stability now is bad. I feel like they're dependent on someone that they really don't want to be dependent on at all. I feel like that person actually tricked them, and which is why this person knew, again, that someone that's close, like it was like a family member, either a wife, it could be a wife, it could be an ex-wife, it could be somebody that played like that they cared about this person, but like the extreme hatred is there, like where just ruin this person's, like, okay, you want your freedom, no, I'm going to own your life. You made a fool out of me, I'm going to own your life. And so I feel like this person, the only way that they feel that they can get out of their situation is if someone helped rescue them. And they've always had that. They've always had someone on the back door that they could run to. Like, so they've never healed their issues. It's, again, they've had a lot of baggage, and we just went into one relationship. And again, what this person does is they become everything you want them to be. And then they become everything you don't want. Your worst nightmare, someone that cheats, someone that has addiction, someone, and that's really what I feel. And so you're not going to be there. You're not coming to rescue them. And you're not. It's like, because of that, I'm starting to understand our connection. Yeah, because now, again, they're fixated. So at the one time that when you met this person and who you thought that they were when you met them, again, they only showed you the pretty parts of them. And when you connected to them, you were imbalanced. You weren't getting what you needed emotionally, and probably still haven't. So you didn't notice. But what you're picking up on is a lot of, again, that, like, what they look like, their reputation is being ruined, their identity is getting ruined. That's why I said the person that tricked this person, the person, like, hates them. There's extreme hate. And so it's almost like your person, like, I don't know why, but they're so fixated. Well, I don't know why. I think that they're fixated on you, almost like, you're my hope. You're my hope. Because this person is being destroyed right now, right now. And so, of course, like I said, they're not coming from place of balance. They're coming from place that I couldn't let you get close to me. No, because they were connected to somebody else at the time, or obligated to somebody else. Like it said, this person appeared a lot stronger than they were. This person's needy, and I feel like they just took too much. Again, went into the relationship, became everything you wanted them to become. And then once they got comfortable, well, then the real them came out, and they have addictions. They're not reliable. They're not, again, there's somebody that has a lot of spiritual blocks. They can't, not going to be fulfilled having your life being you. That's what this person was doing. I love you. So, of course, the more that they think about you, the more that they love you. And you're not talking to them at all because you were like, okay, well, I'm not going to deal with you because I feel like this person didn't give you anything. For whatever reason, they were thinking that you could give them. That's the energy. I feel like at one point when you met this person, they didn't weren't just talking to you; they were talking to multiple people, and I feel like they were connected to somebody else. And the person that they were connected to is really the person that has it in for them now. Like I said, so here it is, what this person is remembering is the times that you were a good person to them, that you were nice, that they're looking at your life, you look good, your life looks good. So again, they don't have an identity, they hate who they are. So remember that. It's like, so of course there's a part of them that's like, I love you, what their life. And there is intentional and intent love. I know that I crossed the line with you. And it's like, again, because this person wasn't honest. I feel like they may pretend that a connection was over. A connection wasn't over. This person never really had any intention of leaving, never any intention to do things right by you. And so now all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, now that their life is falling apart, now that things are changing for this person, they're looking around. And guess what? All their options that they thought that they had, well, guess what? They didn't feed the connection. They didn't give anything to the connection. They didn't really value. If you're just coming in for one and done, or like a superficial, it's all about them giving you the energy. You didn't give anything. So relationships are at best acquaintances because you wouldn't have built the emotional bond. And that's why this person's needy. It's like, I want you, I want you, I want you, I want you. I don't know how to do it myself. Which it tells me, again, I told you they have a blocked heart chakra. And that's a person that's going to be real stingy, not really, they're going to do whatever they can to get you back, but it would revert back to the same person because they haven't done any healing. So they'll change for a limited time, but otherwise then it's exhausting. It's not really what I want to do. I feel like then I have to come in and be everything that you want me to become now. And it's not going to work out. And I don't really know why relationships don't work out for me, but I don't really want a commitment. I'd rather take on the persona that I'm the bad boy or I'm the bad girl. It's much better than the confused, I don't know why my relationships look like a mess and I don't have any. Like no one likes me. It's like, well, you don't like yourself. That's what the issue is. They don't like themselves, or the person that isn't living life is escaping. But they have so much repressed emotions that they haven't even thought. And that's where addictions come in, like I said, because it's like attachment. So you can't just suppress your emotions. You feel tired. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. I feel like this person's obsessed. And I think that they're obsessed because they're not in a good place. And they're not there. It's again, someone has control over their life. So it's like escapism. What is escapism? Person's not running away, but they're fantasizing. They're thinking. They're imbalanced. So you would feel like, I feel like this person's energy is on me. It's like their energy is on you. It's like because their life, they don't like their life the way that it is. So remember, it's how much energy a person gives. It's how much emotion you put into something. So now this person is seeing everything because they're in a horrible spot. But I understand, I think that spirit's like, well, I made sure that you're going to have to humble yourself. in order for you to dig yourself out of that shithole of karma. Because again, not having any money, being ruined like publicly, I mean, that's a big deal. It's like possibly even legal issues, just problems. Like it just like not good karma. The timing just wasn't right for us. That's what this person is saying. It's like, yeah, because they were with somebody else, but they would be like, let's not rehash that part. Again, they're gonna be like, oh, I want you to be patient. I don't want you to look at this. I like now they're sitting there, they're not just thinking this. Let me tell you, they're also thinking about I did this, I did this, I did this. I hope that you don't ask me about the past. I hope that you don't ask me about, maybe we can just move forward from here because they know that they were an asshole. It's like they know that they were an asshole. It's like, so there sounds like, again, right now that they're trying to figure out in their mind, like, what do I do with this now that I made a mess of it? It's like I burnt the whole place down. How do you, there's nothing left. How do I repair this? You're going to have to come in crawling. You got to give something. And that's a problem for this person. But that's why the universe did it. The universe, like, yeah, motherfucker, you're going to open up your heart. You're going to have to give some. Now you're going to have to give a lot. You're going to have to give a lot because now this person doesn't trust you. You did it because you're not, and your life is a mess. So you got nowhere to go. What are you going to do? People make it out of desperation or inspiration. The person goes back with their tail between their legs. Understand that. But the universe does that. But understand they still haven't done anything spiritually to heal themselves. The universe knocked them down because the universe is going to be like, like, hey, listen, I give you free will to choose, but now you're disrespecting me. All right. Yeah, like you're going to get away with it a little bit, but you're like, again, eventually I collect my due. So the more that you do it, the more that I'm remembering. So that's why the karma looks the way that it does. You were bad to a lot of people. You were bad, again, escaping, being connected to somebody that you were pretending not to be connected to, disrespecting that person while disrespecting all the other people that you pretended to be. Like, again, single for when you never really even wanted a relationship. There's karma for that. You had to pay for karma too for being with this person because Spirit says, well, you should have known. You should have honored yourself. That's why you had to, the karma. Know what it looks like. Learn. Where this person is like, oh no, but they're not free from paying the toll. Oh no. There's going to be karma to pay. A lot of it. It's like I let them get away with that for a long time. This situation is being caused by the both of us, where this is what this person thinks right now. They're like, well, if you would call me right now, well, if you would fix it right now. And again, because they're needy. So this person cannot believe that there's no one there on the back burner to fix this, to like make them feel better. It's almost like they had a parent that always made them feel better, like they never made them accountable. And then every single relationship would get out of that relationship because the person would have it. They would have it up to like the rafters. And so now that there's no one there, the options that they have, like, can't afford to do it. They were going for lower hanging fruit because they weren't putting any effort in. So they thought, oh, I'm going to be cheap about this. I'm not going to really care about any of these people. Like how some people will at least have an affair with somebody and build a relationship, be like, I love you, I'm just stuck in this relationship. It's like, that wasn't this person. This person was like, I'm not going to love anybody. I'm just going to care about my money. And I'm gonna be with you, but I'm also gonna be with all these other people, and I'm just gonna get my needs taken care of. And that's why they're looking around and they're like, I'm with, like, now what are my options? Oh, my options is Mary Jane that lives in a car. You know what I mean? Barbara Jean that is a prostitute. You know what I mean? It's like that. There's nowhere to go. So of course this person is fixated on you. And I just want to say that I'm not trying to make it like bad, but it's that this person like needed to be humbled. They needed to be like that ego was not coming down. So they had to be put in a place like this. So when you met them, whatever whoever you met was not a good person. This person's realizing it now. And what they're saying is, how do you fix that? It's like you don't. You can't. Not without giving a lot. And the universe says exactly that person's going to open up their heart. Because every time you give, that's what you're doing. You're opening up your heart. That's why it feels so good to give. Because it actually is healing for you. This person has a closed heart due to whatever's happened in their life. But it still doesn't give them a reason to be that way, you know. These feelings overwhelm me and I become afraid, and sometimes I even run away from you because of it. So again, their feelings would be like that because again, love makes us go inside of ourselves. Love makes us think. We do things that we normally wouldn't do for love. Remember that. It's like it's a catalyst. It's known as the universal panacea because it's like love heals. Love makes us do things. You're projecting your own fears and limitations onto me. Go within to understand that you are seeing yourself, not me. And that's what I said. This person will still have these fears. So if you don't act the way that they think that you should act, remember the whole watering of your garden, not their own, wanting to control, thinking that they're helping. They don't have an identity. They don't know where to start. They're lost. Doesn't mean that this person can't be a smart person. They could be actually somebody that's very logical and smart and scripts, grades in school, could be a good business person, but whatever they had before is ruined. So if they had their own business, they lost it and they would be like, I don't really even know where to start. Where do I go? What do I do? It's like, and so there's like fears there. We need to wait for divine timing. Time is healing our wounds and creating the perfect condition for a reunion. So that you do have a potential for this to be a twin flame. Believe it or not, remember, in every single lifetime, people have the opportunity to step into their divine person. And this person may say, well, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. Please, God, I really want to do it. And God's like, well, listen, you're like the bottom of the barrel. I don't know. I'm going to have to pair you up with somebody that is like almost like a spiritual doctor, someone that's really like intuitive, someone that's really like, if they even want you, they might not even want you. I don't know. They have free will, you know. It's like, but I'll give the opportunity. Well, let's see what the spiritual lessons are. Oh, look, Mary Kate, she needs to learn forgiveness. That's a good one. We'll put you down on the list, you know, because really by spiritual law, we're supposed to forgive if a person comes back. So you'd be like, forgive, the person just did all that to me. And so Spirit says, well, remember, you don't need to roll out the red carpet. It's like you'd have to train that person. And again, and maybe you don't know, maybe you give too much. Maybe again, I'm trying to teach you. So I'm giving you this person. It's like where you're going to have to teach, you're going to have to, and the way that you speak to them, and the way that it's to build trust, where it's not an easy thing. You can love somebody, but the way that they can talk to you can trigger you. The way that they, do things where Spirit says, I'm going to give you this person. I hope that you handle them like they're going to be your child. I hope that you're going to have patience and kindness and not hold the score every time that, the person does something. Well, back in 1942, you ran my dog over and then you did this. Like, we don't want to do any of that, because some of the things that are going to be horrible that the person does, and it's not going to be because a lot of times that they even meant to. And so it requires love. This is what love is. Life, earth is not, earth is a school. So it's not that you're broken, you're not broken. It's that these are the spiritual lessons that you came here to learn. Again, and so our shadows will tell us what needs to be integrated. I feel abandoned and I often feel like others let me down. This is this person, which is why they're needy. Because after a while, it's like, listen, the well is dry. After a while, because you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're not getting anything back. So people become resentful. And then there's a sense of, well, this person really loves me. What they remember is the beginning of the connection. They're not looking at all the other times and all the other things that they did to hurt that person, which is why they're paying the karma, where this person is like, oh, I've been with you for X amount of time, and I'm going to like write down every little thing that I've ever done and did, which meant that they held it in, they suppressed it, they looked the other way. So, now they're not doing that. I think that they didn't mean for it to go this way, but like a fire, it's lost control because it wasn't alchemized. You see, like you have the spiritual block, but you don't alchemize that energy. Eventually, it's gonna just burn everything down to the ground. It's like everything's going to be demolished because of like the disrespect. Whatever you just cleared helped me to shift too. So I feel like you'll think about this person in a different perspective. And again, Spirit says this is not about it's not all or nothing. It's that you have to learn balance. You have to learn like to give. The spiritual walk is forgiveness a lot of times, but it depends on what the person does. Sometimes if you can't forgive, it's still to be able to forgive, and that means let it go. Otherwise, we wind up attracting the same type of people into our life. The same situations unfold. This is what a karmic loop is, where you're like, it's the same thing. I never get that. It's always the same story. I have a friend that every time the relationship goes to a certain part, and I'm like, it's not going to work out. And like at this point, I'm like, it's not going to work out. And she's always like, why? Her theme is always the same. You don't have a job. It's a problem for people. People don't want to be with someone that doesn't have a job or have a purpose. It doesn't matter. You could be Betty fucking Crocker in the kitchen and I don't know, Linda, whoever, porn star in the bedroom. It doesn't matter. It's like, it doesn't matter who you are. It's like you need to like be a whole self. It's like, and that's the thing. There are messages being exchanged through music and movies. Listen carefully and trust what you hear. Well, again, the universe would be involved, but understand it doesn't mean that they're 100% healed. It takes time. It takes time for the universe to like bring this person situations and experiences that make them look. The universe gives them suffice enough time to internalize, to think this person avoids. That's what it looks like. Words have hurt me in the past, and that's why I fear talking to you. Yeah, again, that's intimacy. That's the first sign, too, of trust. Like if this person comes back and you're mean to them or you judge them, even though they really should be judged for what they did. But Spirit says, like, you shouldn't judge. But if you were to judge, this person would feel it and then they would have a wall. But it's almost like for you to love and be accepting, but also be like, but if you ever do that to me, I just want you to know I'm not going to be sticking around, and that person would know the truth because you already walked away from them and they're in a vulnerable space. So it's like you're treating this person like a child. You're being the parent for that child that never got that love, that nurturing, that wasn't taught how to be able to, if they asked for something or they expressed themselves, they were either screamed at, yelled at, it was twisted, they were taught to lie. They were taught, again, who they were was something the matter. So that's why we're seeing such deep wounds. We're seeing these behaviorisms. That's why. It's like, so that's, but dealing with a person that doesn't communicate is going to be a problem. So you're going to have to, you know, figure out how to deal with it. And it's not by being worrisome, and it's not by, it's with humor. It's always with humor. The wall comes down because trust, especially when the person frustrates you, instead of you ripping their head off, make a joke out of it. The person will get the message, but it's through a kind and loving way that you're doing it. It's like, because there's a sense that you're like, well, I don't know how to deal with all this shit. What the fuck? Does it come with directions? And the spirit says it's the way that you're handling it. And it's like, well, why? Well, why do I have to deal with that? And spirit says, well, last week, just so that the sales meeting when you told Tracy that her dress was not what it looked like, or that Bob didn't do such a hot job. And, well, it's the way you say things, because you're like, why does everybody think that I'm not a nice person? Why does everybody have a hard time with me? Which makes you feel like people don't like me, which makes it difficult for you to have an open heart. So Spirit's saying, I'm giving you that person to teach you, because you were not taught. You deal with people the way that you were dealt with, and that was not nice or kind. So you're getting that. I'm reparenting you. It's like somebody's got to reparent somebody, but this is your student here. It's like, I don't like it, but they could come cute. You have a lot of passion and attraction for them, right? Well, it's again, I know that you're going to show up, Spirit says. I'm listening to my higher self now. A higher power is guiding me, which is what it's all about with these type of connections. And the universe is like, I need this person to come back home to themselves. I need them not to be codependent. They keep losing themselves in these relationships, trying to be them, taking on that person's identity, and then, of course, not liking it, instead of just becoming themselves. It's like this person needs to stop living from their ego because they hate their life. And again, stop thinking that the money, the tools, the everything outside of them is going to be what's fulfilling. What's fulfilling is the connections that we have, the emotional connections that we have, where we're putting our time that actually feeds us and grows us, is what spiritual health is about. This person's was not coming from their higher self. They were coming from the ego part of self. And that ego part of self will always bring you so much further away from your true self, because it's always going to tell you, like, you need to look this way, you need to have this, you need to have that. And it's based on what we're perceiving. And where really Spirit's like, the world, again, like, it's not what you want to become. I'm seeing synchronicities like your name or 111 and working out what they mean. So again, more energies of that. This is just an unfoldment process where Spirit's getting involved to show this person like who they, like, you can trust yourself. Because at this point, it's not so much that they acted arrogant and they're keeping you back. No, this person has a self-esteem problem. It's like after what was just done to them. So they're like, I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself. They have no more ego. So they actually actively did go into the higher self, but they didn't know that, where they're like, why is my life like this? Where then the universe comes into play and it's like, you want to know why your life is like this? Let me show you. Like, and they begin to reflect back on their life, which we saw. And then, so they're doing the work. So the universe is also helping guide them through the signs and synchronicities. That might be, they turn on the TV and they say, right back to you, Laura, or right back to you, Bob. And you're like, my name's Laura, or my name's Bob, like right back to you. The person like hears your name, they see it, they can't seem to get you off their mind. It's again where it's the universe is showing them, because remember, they don't have the people that they've been spending their time with was no one that was really talking to them, feeding them, growing them. You were. Don't judge this. Just surrender. I know it's triggering, but from a higher perspective, it's clearing energy and bringing us closer together. And that's what I said at this time. It's like spirit is healing you both. You might be like, well, I don't feel like I'm being healed by any of this shit. Like where spirit will say, you actually are. I never bring a person to the person where only one person heals. Never. You have spiritual blocks too. Childhood wounds that have played out within your life as karmic themes over and over and over again. So I'm bringing you this person into your life to help you. Otherwise, you wouldn't really be able to like learn. But understand this is the very, very beginning stages of your soulmate twin flame relationship. It's like before you're even together, there's a knowingness where this person has you in their heart and vice versa, but they're going through the process of clearing, and that's through healing. You know, that's through looking at shit, finally looking at shit and being like, why is my life like this? Why does it look like this? What did I do? How did I get here? Card number 1, friendship. Now, these are the inner child wounds, oppression, confusion, self-love, physical touch. And we'll one more, wonder. And then we'll pull, I always like to pull from this deck lately too. I can find it. Problem, I have so many decks now that I'm like, you know, that when you have a lot of decks, sometimes you put like, I put like 2 decks of cards like in one deck just because it's like, I don't know where to put them all. Like I don't have room for all of them. Come on, where are you? Come on. We don't want to waste time. It's like, watch the last one. Nope, still no. All right, well, really, that's so odd. All right, maybe you're in here. And if not, then we'll pull from a different deck. This is so, I hate that when I can't find stuff. That drives me bonkers. Is this it? Yeah. Stupid. Right here, right in front of my face. All right. Important. This is important. All right. Transformation. I knew it was important. I freaking knew it. Infinite possibilities. I knew it was important. It was like, if this is a real soulmate twin flame relationship, then it's, again, we'll pull like transformation. We'll pull like something that, again, to teach about transmutation, which, you know, understand you're getting your twin flame because of those deep wounds. You're getting them because you can't heal them on your own. You need to reparent yourself. And you're getting that through this person that's coming into your life. So you're doing it for them because you love them. Love is healing. Again, but love is also patient. So understand it's the passion you have for this person. And then it's also through the act of doing something together. The creative forces, again, create infinite possibilities. Like look at Sonny and Cher. Look at Tina and Ike. Look at all like the couples that are famous, the power couples. It's because they're in the divine masculine and divine feminine energies from the twin flame connection. They've stepped up into their divine counterpart to really transmute those energies, because we can't get rid of the negative energy. You just can't do it. You can't just say, well, I choose not to get rid of it. And what was it? Again, you weren't taught to love yourself. You didn't get the emotional fulfillment. That's what I contain that physical touch to, the emotional support. You needed to be hugged. You needed to be held. You needed to be told that things were going to be okay. You didn't get that. So there's a part of you that's needy, which is why you attracted that. Because you also, again, emotionally didn't get what you needed. And then you're not giving yourself the self love. So spirit's like, so love was confusing, if anything. It was oppressive, right? Where you got into a relationship with people and they kind of kept your energy down. And if you didn't get the emotional support that you needed, um, if anything, you might even pull people to you that bullied you, the people that weren't there, that went out of their way, like friends that would actually try to keep you down. Because it's just a low energy. It's that the person's going to have jealousy. So anything that you get that's finally good, it's like this person's like, oh, why should you have that? And you'd be like, why are you even thinking that? Why should I even get that? Because I don't get anything. I never get anything. So this person gave me an extra fucking saltine cracker and you're mad? It's like that I got it. Yeah, well, you get everything. Meanwhile, that person is like eating steak and they're eating sushi and they're eating like the dessert and they have it like, but you're looking at my saltine cracker. So it's again watering other people's gardens, like where it's that well, I didn't get. I didn't get. So, and I should have, like, again, this false sense of entitlement where you're like, if anything, I was humble. And Spirit says it's still, there's only two energies, love and fear. So you're going to be put with the arrogant people, even though you're a humble person, because you don't know your worth. So it's again, I'm going to make this person show you your worth. It's again, because you're going to be like, who the hell do they think that they are? And God is saying, I don't know. Who are you, though? That's what's more important. It's like, who are you? Because they shouldn't have made you feel any which way if you were in your truth. See, being that, getting that enough emotional fulfillment, well, make sure that it's not oppressive. And we do that when we're balanced. And the only way that you'd be balanced is through the twin flame connection. That's what Spirit's saying. It's like you'd give too much. You'd give too much or not enough because of the perceptions of like life, instead of coming from a spiritual perspective that realizes, yes, it's like you went through experiences that, created negative energy. Everybody does. But that energy is inside of you. You're just an energy being. It's blocking you. It's making it difficult for energy to work through you, which is that energy is your manifestation, like energy that helps you create, that helps you transform the way that, not just the way that you see yourself, but the world around you, because you're changing yourself from the inside out. And that's what people need to understand. They need to understand that there's a real reason for the twin flame connection and that it's not one. And Spirit says, and also like, well, in separation, the wonder of you, the wonders of you. You don't even know who you are. You didn't get the emotional support. You could have been so far out being like, why don't I get any emotional support? I want to have someone that there for me. I want that. Again, always looking outside, but then also being inside, but not creating anything with that inside. So Spirit says the wonder of you. It's like, and the wonders of the world. It's like, did you go out into the world and experience the world and see what stirs up your soul and your passion? It's like you get to do that because you're not your trauma. You're where you decide to put your energy. You're where you decide to grow. That's where you decide to heal. That's where you decide to transform. Right there. Again, they're the wonders of the world, the wonders of you, because the wonders of the world is the universe. Hey, Richard. So that's why it's okay. It's about, again, the infinite possibilities that when you go out into the world, you get the ideas. That's what opens up your third eye. That's, what opens up your crown chakra. because it's like, oh, I knew that. I saw that. How did I know that? It's like that knowing comes from the clairsentience, from being led through your passion, through your gut, through again that, oh, I just felt that that was the right thing to do. Yeah, I really like doing it. So I gave it. And look, I could see how Mary Jane would buy something from my whatever you're doing. Or I could see how they'd show up at my event. I could see how that would happen. And then I just was told right in that moment, I got the urge to do this, and it changed my full destiny. Yeah, because you were in alignment. You are in alignment with the laws of God, the laws of love, the laws of the universe, the laws of nature, because they're all the same thing. The energy of love that's inside of you. So you're not paying attention either to what's going on in anyone else's garden. So you don't care what they are. You could be a unicorn that also turns into like a Care Bear at night. I don't give a shit what you are. It's like, or what you do. As long as you're in the vibe and of the energy of unconditional love and you're happy. You're giving that energy out into the world the best way that you know how, that you're becoming the expression of love. Why would I care? And why would they care? They'd be, I don't care about that person that's so boring, straight laced. They go like they go to work, they come home, they eat like they what's their enjoyment? Watching SmackDown on a Monday night? That's it. It's like they don't care. No judgment. No judgment. We're a clear conduit for spirit to work through, so that you can create your own heaven on earth, so you can quantum jump into the reality that you want to. And that's what these are, the infinite possibilities and transformation that only happens with a twin flame. So if you're like, is this that relationship? It is. But is it a hard relationship? Damn straight it is. It's like, did Tina and Ike always have it? I remember Tina getting a few black eyes. I remember the fire, that fire transmutation energy. It's like you want to kill that person, but there's also so much love and so much passion and so much. It's again, and it's such a perfect balance that when it's balanced, that it just makes miracles happen. It's a creative energy. So I forgot to mention, I'm having a free webinar for the first 10 people that sign my wait list. So I know that Richard has gotten one. And I'm really happy about that, Richard, that you're going to be like, again, you'll be in my free webinar that's coming up. But again, if those of you that are interested in healing the effects of trauma, well, then guess what? You will also be. And I'm going to be having a lot of other free, yeah, that you would get an email. Yeah, because I have somebody working with me to make it organized. Otherwise, I'm not organized. But I wanted to give a free webinar on some of the topics that we talk about here. And some of the topics that we talk about here are like, break the cycle of pain, where why do you keep attracting the same types of people, partners, friends, and jobs, and how to let go of emotional attachments and energy ties to the past, exes, betrayals, and traumas. Healing deep emotional wounds, tools to release anger, shame, and oppressive thoughts, and how to move forward with confidence. Simple steps to overcome feeling stuck, unmotivated, and hopeless, and how to build a life full of love, joy, and purpose while creating healthy boundaries. So again, it touches on like it. I'm going to do like a summarized, but then I'm going to add people to my Facebook group if you want, where I'm going to and on YouTube I'll post these up for people that eventually want to learn stuff, because I feel like there needs to be tools. There are no tools, for the webinars. Like, and eventually I'm not going to hold on to them, but you can be part of the webinar and ask me questions. That's what makes it so special, and why you would want to. Oh, I'm great. looking forward to it. That's why you would want to do it. You would want to, you know, be able to ask me questions while it's live. It's again, there's a lot of people that inherit that family karma, that ancestral karma. So I'm going to put the link in the description box if it's not there already. I know I had to put up this kind of half-assed because I kept having no sound. It was like I kept going on. I think I did it 3 or 4 times, literally, and it was like I have no sound. Didn't do anything different this time, by the way. Just had to log off of everything. Um, who knows? But you can find the link. It'll be in the description box along with all other important information. Now, if you're someone that just wants to learn on your own, I have a lot of free resources. Go to my website, go to pureenergyhealer.com. I have over 100 blogs on the website, all dealing with different holistic and spiritual topics. I have my TV show link that I do every Tuesday night called Rewired. It's about healing the subconscious mind. It's about healing. I didn't realize that somebody else had that name when I started to on this network. And I really like to change the name of the show at this point. But anyway, the link is still there, and it's a good, different holistic and spiritual topics, just if you want to learn, whatever your spirit calls you to help you learn. It's like, look for the free resources first and see what resonates with you. Let your higher self guide you. Learning to trust yourself is the most essential thing. We don't build security, and we can't obtain any type of abundance if we don't love ourselves unconditionally. So it's all about returning to your natural state. I just wanted to share those things with you. And also, again, don't forget to write the word of the video in the comment bar. I forgot what it is. I'll have to rewind. Oh, wait a second. It is needy. That's right, needy. I have no memory. That's the one thing my ADHD does. Needy. Don't forget to write the word needy. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to start adding content there too, for people to learn and to heal. It's all about, helping to build the community. Usually last find it. Oh, it's like reading the comments. Now, if does anyone have any questions? Thank you. Oh, talk to me in private. Yeah, it's like, you know what? I have clients. I have the YouTube, but you can just reach out to me through my website. We can make like like a little appointment, or through like is that you on Facebook that reached out to me? I don't know. Like I have people that are working for me that work through my Instagram to so I don't know if that's you. That was somebody reached out to me and I just didn't respond because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who this is. And pretty much asking me, is that you sending me those emails? And I'm like, I don't want to really say no because it is me, but it's not me per se. It's people that work for me. I'm trying to collect information to see, like I said, what people want, what people want to learn, what people need, and that's, I've been doing these classes for a long time, and I've been doing, so I want to niche it, to offer more free stuff, talks, because that's what it is. A lot of people I know, but I don't know. And the difference is during the talk, I'm going to be breaking down everything. So where I'll be doing little oracle card spreads, you'll ask me questions. It's and they'll run an hour, So if you're part of the webinar, you get a lot more information if you're part, but otherwise I'll be offering eventually on other platforms as well. But Richard, you just need to let me know. Okay, with a dog as profile picture. Yes, black dog. My dog. Just put tell me from YouTube. It's like that. It's then I'll know who you are. It's like, I think that I saw, but I wasn't sure. It was like, what's the name? I think I'm going to have one this Sunday. I think that we're going to shoot for this Sunday. I know that it's right before the holiday. That's the one thing that I was telling my guy that I work with. I said, oh, it's right before the holiday. I don't like that. But it is what it is. Again, spirit like picks the time, and I'm really excited about this webinar, though. I think that you guys are going to get a lot out of it. Yeah, just write to me again. Just be like, it's me, it's me. Like, oh, that's good. Oh, well, I think I made it for Sunday. I was saying Sunday at like maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. We were figuring, but again, there's people from all over the world. So hopefully you guys will be in the right times, like the same time zones. If you're not, you'll always have access. Especially if you do a coaching and you happen to miss it, though I plan on like offering coaching like every day, because I was telling my guy that I work with, I said time zones. I have people from Australia, and then people from New Zealand, and they're like a day ahead of me. So changing the time and making it flexible, maybe like one day it'll be at this time, another day that'd be this time. It has to be flexible like that. Otherwise, no one wants to get up at 3 a.m. to do a webinar. I mean, sometimes maybe if you can't sleep, but every single time, no. No one really wants to do that. So we're trying to figure out the best way that it'll work for everyone. And eventually, after you get through everything, like there'll be a surprise. I think it would be fair to be different. Yeah, it has to be different times, just different days. Yeah, see, like 6 hours earlier. Like that's why I was saying I can't do, like he was like, you want to do it once a week? I said, you can't do it once a week. Instead, can't do it once a week, and we can't do it like as long as he did this whole big thing. And I said, no one wants to sit there and listen for an hour to someone talking unless it's a card reading and unless they're able to ask questions over time, and it'll be fun. It'll be very interactive. You'll be able to ask questions. You'll be able to but it'll be around a topic that you want to know about. And and that's really what it is. Yeah, your signature. That's it. But that's it. But put the crown. That's it. Sir Richard. That's what we have to do. But that's but I'm really excited about it. And so again, if you're someone that wants to heal the effects of trauma, definitely fill out the wait list. And I think I'm going to have the first one this Sunday. That's the plan. And then I know it's not going to be after Christmas and everything, but I might have another one anyway. And if people can make it, they can make it. And if they don't, they can just go to the recording after, just like on YouTube. If you miss a live stream, you can still check it out after it's up, to get the information. It's just going to be more fun if you're on it. That's the whole point. To be able to ask questions, be interactive, to be fun. It'd be like a game. Because no one wants to do shadow healing and talk about their miserable boyfriend or girlfriend that keeps them stuck in a miserable place and not have fun or laugh about it. You know what I mean? Or see it from a different perspective. It's like we want to do it, like people need it for relief. That's why they're getting a reading, because they're like, I don't want to feel this way. So that's the whole point. And then into a Oh wow, that's great. Well, I think like your healing is all about that. It's about, you know, um, that healing's up for is a process, and that you'll never have just one healer. It's like, and know that there's not one person that can give you everything because nobody's God. And that it's like, if you're called to, that's great. And it's great that you're listening to that. And just know, never let anyone make you not listen to that. It's like, I think that we need people. I mean, even I need people, not for like, maybe not for coaching, but I definitely need for a lot of other areas in my life. Trust me. Anything muggle, I need to hire somebody for, So trust me. And it's like, and some of those things I can wind up learning. And there's a lot of times that you don't want to do it, so you don't put the energy into doing it. And the other time, but I think that that's what the world's about. That everybody needs to make money. Everybody can connect to everybody. And as long as you're investing in yourself, and you're actually going to be able to make something out of your investment. That's why I can't stress enough about living while doing the coaching program, because you're going to get triggered. You're going to get triggered. But the whole point in change is we have to walk through the fire. So the coaching will help you to do that, give you tools to do it after. But these people that say, I haven't dated in like 10 years, it's not like the 10 years went by and now all of a sudden you're happy about you made it worse for yourself. Well, I didn't trust. Now it's going to be different because I wasted time. It's not different. You still have the same wounds. It's again, they just waited for you. That's like moving, and it's like, so anything that you have to do to invest yourself is great. I think that everybody, well, again, that's a sign that you have some blocks. It's again, when you get easily triggered. I get triggered too. I think the more spiritual you are, sometimes if that's your path, the more that gets what you're going to get triggered. It's part of the needing to integrate the spiritual lesson and transmute it. It's like, did you learn it? Let's see. Like, show me. Like when your parents would be like, did you brush your teeth? Show me. Well, that's what the universe is saying. Did you do it? Did you pass the test? Show me. So again, I'm in the thing, I'm teaching. Sometimes I get mean people. Sometimes I get, nice people. Sometimes I get, how do you handle it? How much love do you put into it? How much time, energy, focus, money do you put into it? Spirit's like, I want to see. And it's how much you put into it is actually how much you get fulfilled back too. And that's why it's important. The kind of all coming back at the same time, years of deep. Yeah, well, that's good. I think that that's what it is. It's like you're healing and you're growing and you're changing, and we don't go through just one phoenix time, and we definitely don't go through one dark night of the soul. I think that life continues to sometimes as we evolve. It's just part of learning and evolving and changing and growing, and the whole point is that we don't create stability outside of ourselves. We create stability and strength inside of us. Again, the kingdom of heaven inside of you. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And that is through a faith walk. And that's what's hard, because a lot of us just don't have faith. And you'll be able to do it. That's the thing. Don't say, watch your words. It's like your words. You are doing it. It's like, it's not that you will be able to do it. You are doing it. It's like, you might be doing it slowly, but you are doing it. If you're thinking about it, you're doing it. It's like, I think that it's the language, it's the belief, it's the fact that, everyone tends to have an unrealistic expectation of how fast things are supposed to manifest and how much energy we have to pour into it, is how much time, energy. Remember, a lot of people go back and they're like, I always wanted to do this in childhood. This is my childhood dream. I heard my friend Lana say that. And you know where she was? She was over in a different country, like on some runway show. She's has multi-billion dollar, because she came over here from Russia, and she was poor, but she had family, and her family loved her, and her family supported her. And she learned the trade of hairdressing, was really good at it. It was always her dream job. It was always, and then we went into, like, we were in this mediocre salon at the time. It was like you could get in even if you weren't a good hairdresser, but they were going to put you in training, you know? And so one of the ladies I taught was miserable, and she says, oh, like there's nobody here that does like a color, like a color regional manager. There is none for Manhattan or whatever. Well, she became the regional manager for Manhattan colorist, and opened up her own colorist studio, is multi-billion-dollar, traveling the world, like living her dream life. And you know what she said? I always wanted to do this as a kid. That's what she said on the runway. And I'm making my dreams come true. That's how much time, that's how much energy, that's how much emotion, that's how much passion. And let me tell you, when you have the love and the support of family, even without the money, it doesn't matter, because they told her, you can do it. Good for you. Don't worry about it. Get back up on that horse. Don't worry about it. Different circumstances. Different circumstances. So it wasn't that they were told not to do it. They weren't told not to put their energy. They were told to become it. They were encouraged to do it. Most people don't grow up that way. They're told, what are you, crazy? Want to do that for a living? That's not a really good job, you know? Like, you're not going to make a lot of money, you know? Or you want to be an actress, you're not good enough for that. You want to be a musician, that'll never happen. You know, that's what they're told. So you have to, you know, not listen to anyone. I always wanted to be a witch, and God made me a witch doctor. Like, there you go. I was like, close enough. And Spirit says, well, it's like, you're not going to ride around on a broom, you know? But that's what I was interested in. It's like, I was curious. I was a little bit too curious about the evil witches, though. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, well, that's it. I'm a powerful witch. You know, it's like, and that's the thing. They're like, oh, witches are women. Right? Witches are high priestesses, intuitive, again, ruled by the moon. So understand, it's like you always know what your calling is. And you can see it's how much energy you pour into it. You always pour into it, and that's the key. I actually also wanted to be an actress. So, well, it's again, so there you go. There's a little bit of mixture going on here. It's like I made a mix match. And God's like, well, let's see what are the tools that we got to work with, you know, for the physical world. Oh, I was like, I think I was always attracted to darkness. My sister said, you're a weird kid. You like to be scared. That's what she said. You like to be scared. They had this paper witch that my sister, that you were able to move the arms, and she would not want me to go upstairs. So she would put that witch's thing on, and she would make the arms move, and I would get scared, but then I would still want to go upstairs, and knew that the witch was there, and it was the whole thing. But I would like to read, like I was just called to it. And watched a movie, I think it was on Lifetime, about two witches. And one was a good witch and one was a bad witch. And you know, and it was a Lifetime special, where at the end the bad witch winds up like getting set on fire. It was terrifying for a kid my age at that time. But from that time on, I went into the library, and I said, I want to know what witch book. And they sent me to, like, I don't know, some aisle that was like the witch trials. I remember my mom getting pissed off because she's like, you don't even know how to read, and that's the book that you're going to get, you know? Like, it was like, I don't think I read the book, but that's the book that I wanted. Well, that's the thing. I became light. I had a lot of blocks myself. Again, my dad had cancer 9 times. My mom tried to kill me several times. Like goes to like. And so I was taught a lot of bad. So I had a lot of blocks. I had a lot of, I was not, I wasn't a bad person. I was a selfish person because no one ever thought about me. You know what I mean? It's like I was isolated from my family. It was an embarrassment at school because I have no memory. It's like I have ADHD where I can't like really stay present to learn like things for long periods of time. And that's because, they were always screaming and drinking, and my mom was crazy. She lit a suit on fire in the middle of the living room because my father bought it. It was polyester. Like, I mean, she did crazy, terrifying things because of the trauma that she endured from a man that went through World War II and was captain of the New York City Fire Department. So there was a lot of trauma there. And so again, I wasn't taught in the school, I was taught at home about the spiritual blocks. I remember being a kid and hearing clink, 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 clink in the morning. I would sit on the couch and just wait for my sister because I'd walk to school with her. And I could feel my father like so nervous. And then later on, when he was on his deathbed, like I found out he was drinking in the morning. Like he was drinking as soon as he woke up, to just numb himself. It was like life was really hard for him. And but he didn't want to change. He suppressed his emotions to stay put. But he was a brilliant man that skipped grades in school. He was an attorney. He wasn't a dumb person. He just wasn't a good attorney because he was too nice. He was an empath that didn't never mastered his sensitivity. So he had a lot of problems, but he was a nice person, but he thought he was a failure. And where again, my mom just lived in fear all the time. Like she wasn't even her after a while. And the thing is, the more that they didn't heal, the more my dad got sick. I mean, that he just had got cancer that many times. I'm not talking about the 2 hip replacements, the upper and lower back surgery, the surgery they wanted to do on the hip, the rheumatoid arthritis where the hands were like this. But a brilliant man that skipped grades in school. Again, with spiritual disease is that. That's what the disease is, where you hate yourself and you detach because you have so many blocks. You have so many spiritual issues. You can't make your life work. So you think that you're inadequate. You think that there's something wrong with you. And you're looking for the answer outside yourself. There was no help. And I know because I went to 1,000 psychics looking for the answer too. And I went to one Xena on 7th Avenue in New York City. I was like, wow, she knew everything. I watched that bitch go to jail. She indicted over $200,000 from people because she was so accurate. She even got money from me. I was 15 years old, but she's the first person that I was like, wow. And it was a calling where spirit showed me, yeah, look why she did it. And I went to her a long time. And towards the end, she was like, I won't read you, you know how to do this. But at the time, I didn't know how to do it. So I was like, I don't know how to do it. And they said, and she was like, she knew that I was going to like entwine like Christianity and I would call her out on her bullshit now. But I was called to it. I was like, because I was in search. Why is my family like this? Why is my life so hard? Why is it so difficult? Why am I so tired? Why? I mean, and believe me, I was on the path to getting sick. I couldn't get life insurance when my son was born because I had asthma so bad. I was a smoker, but nevertheless, I had asthma so bad, wound up in the hospital, kidney stones so bad, I was peeing blood, just living in that environment. So remember, spiritual issues create physical imbalances. And so the spiritual war on consciousness is wind up called you get spiritually sick. And that's really what happens. So you don't see it, but then what happens is you see a lot more autism. You see a lot more, the allergies. You see a lot more people that, have problems that they can't learn in school, that they can't. So the old systems are really not going to like work after a while because there's nobody that's really getting to the root of the problem. So understand there's solution. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining on, and thank you, Richard, for sharing. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the webinar for sure. And I really look forward to doing it. And I will be on possibly later tonight, depending on what time I get home. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Bye.